You can specify the type of data that is entered into a range of cells. To do this, select the range of cells within the worksheet that you wish to set data validation for. Select Data from the menu bar. Now click on Validation to display the Data Validation dialog box. In the Settings tabbed page, click on the Allow drop-down list. Here, you can select the type of data that can be entered into the selected range. Let us select whole number from the drop-down list. You can also set the maximum and minimum values. Let us specify a minimum value of 5 and a maximum value of 25. Now proceed to the Input Message tab. Here in the title text box, enter a title for your message. And in this text box, enter the text of your message. This input message will be displayed later when you click on a cell that has been formatted with this input message. Let us move on to the Error Alert tab. In the Style drop-down list, select from these options: Stop, Warning, Information. In the Title text box, enter a suitable title. In this text box, enter the text of the message that you wish to display. After setting your input message and error alerts, click OK to apply the validation to your selected range. Now, if you try to enter wrong data into a data validated cell, you will trigger off the error message when you press Enter. You can set a password for opening a workbook to disallow unauthorized entry. To specify a password for a workbook, select Save As from the File menu. Click on the Tools icon. Select General Options from the drop-down list. The Save Options dialog box is displayed. In this text box, enter a password here. Click on the OK button. You will be asked to retype the password to ensure that it is consistent. The password can consist of up to 15 characters in length and it is case sensitive. Remember that a password entered will be required in the future if you wish to open the workbook. There is no way to retrieve the information in your workbook if you forget the password. If a formula related to the protected workbook is entered in another workbook, you will be prompted for this password. To set a password for saving a workbook, select File from the menu bar. Select Save As to display the Save As dialog box. Click on the Tools button and select the General Options to open the Save Options dialog box. In the Password to Modify text box, enter a password. In the future, you will be required to enter this password in order to save this file. Click the OK button. You will be asked to retype the password to ensure that it is consistent. Again, as described earlier, the password can consist of up to 15 characters in length and is case sensitive. This option gives the user the ability to open, view and edit or modify a workbook, but the user cannot save the changes made to this workbook. The user will have to save the modified version with a different name using the Save As command in the File menu. Note that it is possible for another user to open a workbook file for which you have specified right reservation password. With this option, the user can save the file with another name and then use the underlying operating system, DOS, to rename this new file with the original name of the protected file. If you use the Read Only recommended option in the Save Options dialog box, this option is useful as it deters people from messing about with workbooks that are not to be altered, but allows people to make changes if really required. When you select the Always Create Backup option, Excel creates a backup every time a worksheet file is saved. The backup file is saved in the same folder as that of the original file. You can open a backup file when your original file becomes corrupt. The backup file also comes in handy when you have committed a series of mistakes in the original file and did not notice them until you resaved the original. You should avoid giving similar names to files of different versions existing in the same folder. In such a case, your backup files could overwrite each other. If you wish to remove a password from an Excel workbook, first open the particular workbook. Then select Save As from the File menu. Click on the Tools button and select General Options to open the Save Options dialog box. Asterisks in the text box will display that there is a password. Clear either or both passwords. Click on the OK button to close the Save Options dialog box. Click on the Save button in the Save As dialog box. Click on the Yes button. Your password has now been removed from the file. Workbook Protection is different than simply setting a password to open or view or edit your workbook. Protecting a workbook will mean that you will be unable to add a new chart sheet using the chart wizard. You will be unable to display source data for a cell in a pivot table. You will be unable to record a macro onto a new sheet. You will be unable to use the Scenario Manager to create a new scenario. To protect a workbook, select the Protection command from the Tools menu. Select Protect Workbook from the sub-menu. In the Protect Workbook dialog box, you can avail these options. In the Password text box, you can enter a password up to 255 characters, which is case sensitive. This password is optional. If you select this checkbox, you will prevent any changes to the structure of the workbook. Structural changes that will be prevented will include editing, inserting, deleting, renaming, copying, moving, or hiding sheets. Selecting this checkbox will prevent any changes to the workbook size. This means that the Windows resizing controls, close, maximize, minimize, and restore are hidden. To unprotect a workbook, select Tools from the menu bar. Select Protection to display its submenu. Now select the Unprotect Workbook command to remove Workbook Protection. If prompted by Excel, enter the required password. We have seen how to protect a whole workbook. We can also protect worksheets to prevent users from altering the contents of the sheet. To protect a worksheet, select Tools from the menu bar. Select Protection and then Protect Sheet from the submenu. This is the Protect Sheet dialog box. The password is optional and can be of up to 255 characters and is case sensitive. Selecting this checkbox will protect the worksheet cells and content. Selecting this checkbox will protect the graphic objects on the worksheet. These objects also include embedded charts. If you select this checkbox, you will protect scenarios and prevent any changes to scenario definitions. If you wish to unprotect a worksheet, simply select Tools Protection. From the sub-menu, select Unprotect Sheet. If prompted by Excel, enter the required password. Instead of protecting a worksheet, you could simply hide the sheet from view. Also, you could hide a row or a column and prevent it from being viewed. To hide an entire sheet, select Sheet from the Format menu. From the sub-menu, select Hide. To hide a row, select the row that you wish to hide. Then select Format from the menu bar and choose Row. Select Hide. To hide a column, select the column that you wish to hide. Then select Format from the menu bar and choose Column. Select Hide. At times, you may want to protect a particular cell or a range of cells. Note that cell protection cannot take place unless the worksheet is protected for its content. To protect a cell or cells, first select the cell or range. Now select Format from the menu bar and select Cells. In the Format Cells dialog box, select the Protection tab page. Selecting this checkbox will prevent any modification to these cells once the sheet is protected. Selecting this checkbox will hide formulae after the sheet is protected. By default, all the cells are locked. You must unlock any cell that you wish the users to use before you lock the sheet. The Audit feature in Excel allows you to detect problems which may occur in worksheet formulae. The Audit toolbar can be displayed in this manner. Select View from the menu bar. Select Toolbars and then select Customize to open the Customize dialog box. Click on the Toolbars tabbed page. Select the checkbox next to Auditing in the Toolbars list box. Click Close to display the Auditing toolbar. These are the tools available on the toolbar. The new Comment tool will display the Cell Note dialog box to enable you to attach text or audio comments. The Remove All Arrows tool will delete all arrows from an active worksheet. The Remove Dependent Arrows tool will remove dependent tracer arrows from an active sheet. The Trace Dependence tool allows arrows to be drawn from the active cells to cells containing formulas which use the values in the active cell or dependents. The Trace Error tool will draw an arrow from cells which may have caused an error to an error value in an active cell. The Trace Precedence tool allows arrows to be drawn from all cells which supply values directly to the formula in the active cell. Precedence. The tracers can be used to find precedence, dependents, and errors in any cell on the worksheet. Precedents are cells which are referred to by a formula. Dependents are cells which contain formulas that refer to other cells. Before you use tracers, ensure that the Hide All button is not selected. For this, select Tools from the menu bar and choose Options. In the ensuing dialog box that opens, click on the View tab. In the Objects section of the tab, make sure that the Hide All Radio button is not selected. Choose OK to exit from this dialog box. To trace the precedence of the cell, first highlight the cell containing the formula that you wish to trace. From the Tools menu, choose Auditing Trace Precedence. Or you can click on the Trace Precedence icon on the Auditing toolbar. Tracer arrows will be displayed like this. Solid or blue arrows indicate direct precedence. Dotted or red arrows indicate a formula which refers to error values. Dashed arrows with a spreadsheet icon refers to external worksheets. While working with tracers, you can click on the Remove All Arrows icon on the Auditing toolbar to remove all the tracers. Or click on the Remove Precedent Arrows icon on the Auditing toolbar to remove one level of precedence at a time. To trace the dependence of a cell, first highlight the cell that you wish to trace. This cell should be referenced in a formula. From the Tools menu, choose Auditing Trace Dependence. Or you can click on the Trace Dependence icon on the Auditing toolbar. Tracer arrows will be displayed with solid or blue arrows indicating dependence of the selected formula. Again, as described earlier with precedence, you can click on the Remove All Arrows icon on the Auditing toolbar to remove all the tracers. Or click on the Remove Dependence Arrows icon on the Auditing toolbar to remove one level of precedence at a time. To trace errors in a cell, highlight the cell that contains the error value. From the Tools menu, choose Auditing Trace Error. Or you could click on the Trace Error button on the Auditing toolbar. Tracer arrows will be displayed pointing to the cells. Dotted or red arrows indicate that the first precedent formula contains an error. Solid or blue arrows indicate that precedents of the first formula are producing an error. Click on the Remove All Arrows icon on the Auditing toolbar to remove all the tracers. Or select Tools, Auditing, Remove All Arrows. It is vitally important that complex worksheets are properly documented. You should be able to understand what you have done when you access your sheets at a later date. To help you, Excel provides cell notes that pop up when your mouse passes over the cell. Select the cell to which you wish to add a comment. From the Insert menu, choose Comment to display the Cell Note dialog box. Enter text in the Text Note box. Click outside the box when you have finished. To display a comment, move your mouse over the cell containing the comment. After a short pause, the comment will be displayed. A red marker at the top right-hand corner of the cell indicates that it contains a comment. To edit a comment, right-click on the cell containing the comment you want to edit. From the pop-up menu, select Edit Comment command. Edit the text in the Text Note box. Click outside the box when you have finished. To delete the comment, right-click on the cell containing the comment that you wish to delete. From the ensuing pop-up menu, select Delete Comment command. Excel can produce data maps to display your data as shaded areas on maps. A workbook called mapstats.xls containing demographic data for each map available should be located in this folder: C drive, /program files, /common files, /Microsoft shared, /data map, /data. First, enter the data you want to map into the columns of your worksheet. The first column must contain the geographical data about the map. This data should be of area names, abbreviations, or postcodes. Area name information is defined in mapstats.xls workbook. Similar to creating charts, select the area that you wish to be mapped. Click on the Insert menu and select the Object command. From the Object dialog box, select Microsoft Map from the Object Type list. Click OK to close the dialog box. At this point, you may be asked to select the type of map you require. Select the map from the list and click OK. If the Data Map control box is not visible when you have selected the map, click on the Show Hide Microsoft Map Control icon on the Data Map toolbar. The Value Shading tool gives different shades of the same color. These shades are used to represent numeric data. Generally, darker the shade, greater the value. The Category Shading tool enables you to use various colors to show that regions belong to differing categories of information. The Dot Density tool allows you to control the number of dots that are represented by numeric data values. The greater the number of dots, higher the value. Graduated Symbols tool enables numeric data values to be represented by a symbol. The larger the symbol, the greater the value. The Pie Chart tool enables you to place small pie charts in each area to show the data for that area. The Column Chart tool is similar to the Pie Chart tool. This tool uses small bar charts to display data in each area. The Data Map Control dialog box may look like this with no data in the working area. The map displayed for this has no data map to it. To place the data onto the map, use the mouse to drag the data onto the work area. Place the data over the dotted column box and release the mouse. The value shading format is automatically applied to the dotted format box within the area. The map will show shadings for the data that has been mapped onto it. You can format a data map using these formats. To reposition items on the map, click on the Select Objects icon. Drag the required objects to a new position. To reposition a map within its frame, click on the grabber icon. Now, with the help of the mouse, drag the map around the frame to the position where you want it. Release the mouse button. To center the map, click on the center map icon. To add labels to a map, click on the map labels icon. Select the features to label. Move the cursor over the map. When the label is visible in the position you want it, click to place the label. To add text to a map, click on the Add Text icon. Place the cursor where the text is required and click once. Type the text and press Enter. To create a custom pin, click on the Custom Pin Map icon. To view whole map, click on the Display Entire icon. To redraw a data map, click on the Redraw Map icon. Consolidation is a feature that allows you to select blocks of data from different worksheets and combine their values into a single summary range in a workbook. This data can also be selected from different pages of the same workbook. This feature saves time. It is easier to use this function than cutting data from several worksheets and pasting them into one single worksheet. To consolidate data over several worksheets or worksheet pages, you are required to first highlight a cell in a blank worksheet. You can also highlight a blank area in a worksheet instead of a new blank worksheet. Select Data from the menu bar and choose Consolidate. The Consolidate dialog box is now open. Use the Sheet tabs to change between sheets. Do not include the row or column text, only numeric data should be included. Select the first area you wish to consolidate by clicking on the worksheet. Now using the mouse, drag to highlight the area required. The selection will now appear in the reference text box. Please note that any formulas available in the source area will only be used as values in the consolidation. Now, click on the Add button after you have highlighted the required area. Continue highlighting and adding the remaining areas in the consolidation. From the function drop-down list, select the function that you require. The default function is sum, which will add the data across the selected range. If you want the consolidation area data to be updated automatically when the data changes in any of the source areas, select the Create Links to Source Data checkbox. Select OK to complete the consolidation. You can consolidate selected rows and columns from several worksheets also. Insert the row and column text that you want to consolidate from the source ranges in a blank worksheet page. Ensure that the data is typed exactly as it appears in the source data ranges. Now, highlight the row and column labels you have entered. Select Data from the menu bar and choose Consolidate. The Consolidate dialog box is now open. Use the Sheet tabs to change between sheets. Make sure that you include row or column text as well as numeric data. Select the first area you wish to consolidate by clicking on the worksheet. Now, using the mouse, drag to highlight the area required. The selection will now appear in the reference text box. Please note that any formulas available in the source area will only be used as values in the consolidation. Select top row checkbox and left column text box in Use Label in Area. Now click on the Add button after you have highlighted the required area. Continue highlighting and adding the remaining areas in the consolidation. From the function drop-down list, select the function that you require. The default function is sum, which will add the data across the selected range. If you want the summary report to create linking formulas to the source data automatically, select the Create Links to Source Data checkbox. Select OK to complete the consolidation.